Good morning, students. Today we will be learning about image formation by spherical mirrors. Till now you all have studied about the image formation by plane mirrors. That what is the nature, what is the position and relative size of the images formed by them. So today we will be learning about the type of images formed by the spherical mirrors, both concave as well as convex. To find the position and nature of the image of an object formed by a spherical mirror, we make a ray diagram. In fact, there are a large number of rays of light from an object falling on the reflecting surface of the mirror, because each point on the object acts as a source of light. These rays are then reflected back by the mirror and intersect at a point, or appear to intersect at a point to form the image of the object. But it is not possible to draw large number of rays of light. So for our convenience, we consider only the two rays out of the following rays while making a ray diagram for locating the image of an object. Now for the image formation by spherical mirrors, there are certain rules. So there are 4 rules for obtaining images formed by spherical mirrors. The first rule is that incident ray of light parallel to the principal axis passes or appear to diverge from the principal focus after reflection. Now let us take these two mirrors. This is a concave mirror. The reflecting surface is curved inwards, and this is a convex mirror. The reflecting surface is bulged outwards. Now let us take an object AB. So when the incident ray of light is parallel to this is principal axis, this is the pole of the mirror, focus and center of curvature. Now when the incident ray of light parallel to the principal axis, in case of concave mirror, passes through the principal focus after reflection, whereas in case of convex mirror, it appeared to diverge. You see, it appeared to diverge from the principal focus after reflection. Now this is the center of curvature. So this is angle I and this is angle R. Similarly, this is angle I and this is angle R. Now what happens? A line drawn from center of curvature to any point on the surface of a spherical mirror is perpendicular to the surface of the mirror. So this is taken as a normal. So this is angle I and this is angle R. So this is the first rule, that incident ray of light parallel to the principal axis. So this is the principal axis, passes through the focus after reflection from the concave mirror and appear to diverge from the principal focus after reflection in case of convex mirror. Now let us see the second rule. The second rule says that the incident ray of light passing through the focus of a spherical mirror, this is the incident ray of light passing through the focus of a spherical mirror after reflection will emerge parallel to the principal axis. So again this is angle I and this is angle R. This is the principal axis. In case of concave mirror, when a ray of light passes through the focus, after reflection it becomes parallel to the principal axis. In case of convex mirror, a ray of light passing through the passes through the principal focus emerge parallel to the principal axis after reflection in case of convex mirror. Third rule says that incident ray of light passing through the center of curvature. So this is the incident ray of light passing through the center of curvature retraces its path after reflection. It is in case of both the mirrors, concave as well as convex. What does it mean? retraces its path after reflection means it goes back along the same path. Now the question is why it happens so. This is because when the ray of light is incident or is passing through the center of curvature means it is falling perpendicular to the reflecting surface. In this case, angle of incidence equals to 0. And when you know the law of reflection, that angle of incidence equals to angle of reflection. So if angle I equals to 0, angle R will be also equal to 0. Hence, it retraces its path or it goes along the same path after reflection. So this is the third rule. Now the fourth rule is that incident ray of light traveling obliquely to the principal axis. Traveling obliquely means it is striking at the pole of the mirror. It is making some angle. The incident ray of light is making some angle with the pole of the mirror after striking the pole of the mirror, and we know that when angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So in this case, angle I will be equal to angle R. So incident ray of light traveling obliquely to the principal axis towards a point P, that is pole of the mirror, is reflected obliquely, means it is reflected back along with the same angle. Same is the case with the convex mirror also. Here also the incident ray of light, when it strikes the pole, it again gets reflected back, making the same angle. If it is angle I and this is angle R, then again here angle I will be equal to angle R. So where the rules are very easy. First is that incident ray of light, if the incident ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection passes through the focus. Second, incident ray of light passing through the focus after reflection becomes parallel to the principal axis, just the converse of each other. Third is that incident ray of light passing through the center of curvature retraces its path after reflection. And the fourth is that incident ray of light traveling parallel to the principal axis towards a point P is reflected obliquely. Fourth point, again I repeat, that incident ray of light traveling obliquely to the principal axis towards a point P is reflected back obliquely. So students, write down these 4 rules for the image formation, very important, and practice them and learn them thoroughly. I advise you to use compass for drawing these mirrors so that you can draw the center of curvature and focus with the correct measurement. From next class, we will be learning about the image formation by concave mirror. Thank you.